Good morning, everyone. So I am recording the first official garden tour of 2024. So behind in this. I got something in my eye. If it isn't one thing, it's another. I'm really behind in doing this. I apologize. I've been wanting to do it for a month now. And I'm like, I'll do it the next morning. But like I get doing something and then I get completely filthy and gross. And I'm like, I can't record it now. And I'll record it in the evening. And then the evening comes and I'm too tired. So, first garden tour. My name is Jen. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I try to put up regular content. Just lots of gardening stuff, experiments, trial and error. I show you the good, the bad, the ugly, the luckiness that sometimes I have. So let's just get to it. I live in, I always forget to say, I live in northeastern West Virginia, zone, I think it's like 6B, 7A, somewhere around there. And I love tomatoes. So you're going to see a lot of tomatoes. I'm not going to go through all the varieties, but I do not have any repeats, I don't think. Well, no, I do have a couple of repeats in here because I thought I killed a couple plants, but there's 311 plants total in my entire property, and I just want to try all of them. There's over 30,000 different varieties of tomatoes, and I plan to try all of them at least once. So something new I'm trying this year is tomatoes in hay bales or straw bales. I always say hay bales. It's straw bales. There is a difference. So clearly I need to do something about this fence because they're growing up through it now. That's a problem. I'm going to see if I can get my husband Ben to help fix this. But so far, I am thrilled with the growth of these. And they're not even in they're in kind of a shaded spot. So here's my neighbor's property and there's a lot of trees. And as the sun goes over, they're shaded by this big tree. And then there's like I'm like in like this, as you can see, my garden is on a hill. So it gets sun for a while, and then around 3 or 4 o'clock, all these trees shade it. But it does pretty well, so I'm not complaining. But I thought about putting these somewhere else, but I thought, well, let's see how they do here. Because no matter where I put them, they're either going to be in too much sun where I'd have to water them all the time, which if you've been with me long, you know I don't like to water anything. So I thought putting them here, I wouldn't have to water them as much, which I haven't. I've watered them twice with like some fertilizer, fertilized water with like fish emulsion, and then a little bit of like NPK, like a light dose of that, liquid fertilizer. But so far, so good. I have some up front as well. So I put 5 down here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then there's a couple over here. Well, there's actually 6, but this one was a hay bale that I got from a neighbor after fall. So it's like super duper broken down. But as you can see, it's still, this plant is still doing well in it. And I also put some flowers in them that did pretty well. I put peppers, but the peppers, well, there is, oh no, that's a basil. I think that's a basil. But I did put some peppers in here in the middle, and something came and ate them up, or I don't know what happened to them, but they're no longer there. So peppers, I'm not sure, do very well, or I just screwed up somehow. I'll try again, because it's probably just a screw up, not the straw bale's fault. But yeah, I got a flower. This is a Sonora zinnia that's about ready to open up. I'm so excited. And then I've got like fuzzy tomato plants. If you didn't know, there's fuzzy ones, there's variegated ones I'm going to show you. I've got lots of really interesting things in my garden. See, there's a variegated one. So anywhere there was a T-post, I kind of tried to shove something, piled up some garden soil, mushroom soil in a bigger pile, and then planted. But look at that variegated plant. It is gorgeous. Gandalf. Okay, so this bed, sadly, I didn't get filled, but I'm thinking that these are sweet potatoes that I got at a nursery. I tried growing sweet potatoes, but I screwed up with that. My own sweet potato slips. I've done it before in the past and been successful, but this year I wasn't, so I was lucky I found some at a nursery, and these are the Georgia Jets. So I've just got a few right here. I need to mulch them. I think they'd take off a little bit better if I had mulched this bed, but as you can see, my mulching is a work in progress here. But then I put some squash plants in here too. I did put some seed here of different squash plants, but clearly my seeds either got eaten or were too old. I don't know, but there's like one that germinated. There's one that germinated, and well, three. There's three of them. These are, what did I plant here? These are Marina de Chioga, and these are, this one here is Mandarin pumpkin. So I had a bunch of stuff that was like left over, and this space was kind of empty. I wasn't able to find enough sweet potato slips to fill this bed, which is what I did one year, and then this whole area was just covered in sweet potato slips. It was magnificent. And you can eat the greenery from sweet potato slips like you would any kind of like green, saute it and stuff. They're really, really good. So that's what I got going on here. I am going to start more seeds to potentially fill this area right here with some zucchini and yellow squash. So I just haven't got around to it. This here is my cup plant. I planted this last year and it overwintered in the bed, and then it's taking off and it's huge. I didn't realize that the cup plant was this big, so I'm excited to see how this all turns out. But you can see, I guess this is why they call it a cup plant, because it's holding water like a little cup in its little pockets there. So I have, obviously you can see, I built my garden down the side of a cliff, a hill. So it's very terraced. My husband built me all these beds. And in the very bottom bed here, all the way in the back, is just tomatoes. I guess I should tell you, I also have these grow pots. I keep adding every year grow pots. So this is just, my tomatoes are doing magnificent this year. I am very pleased. I've pruned them once now, tied them up. I think I'm on every week I've been tying them up, and clearly I need to do it again, because here's where I tied up last weekend, and then look at the growth. This is an overachiever right here. Anthovieltrot. That is, yeah. So I spray with copper spray. I'll put a picture up of what I use as my copper spray, and it really helps minimize the disease. Now, I did pull off some disease leaves this morning. It's not foolproof, of course, but I have noticed that it's helped. I've done the hydrogen peroxide, and you know, it may have helped some, but I noticed a big difference last year when I used the copper spray. My plants did exceptionally well and did not succumb to disease until I quit like doing the copper spray. So I've got it in my date book this year. I'm planning on spraying every 2 to 3 weeks. So in between that time frame, spraying everything down. Let me just do the pots here. So this pot only has one thing in it. It's got some black salsify. I did a video, which it clearly needs more stuff planted in it. So I winter sow a bunch of things. I love winter sowing. So all that is you plant stuff in containers in the dead of winter when it's really cold, in like milk jugs or juice jugs, whatever kind of semi-clear or clear container. Set them outside in the snow, and the seeds will germinate when the proper time is right inside that little greenhouse. So I did a video on how to do that, and I also have done a video on me planting, and the salsify is one of the things that I planted here. I planted 2. I don't know where one of them went. But you'll hear me mention that I winter sowed this a lot throughout the video, because there's a lot of stuff that I planted. So in my grow pots, I put a lot of my some of my dwarf tomato plants that are only supposed to get between like 2 and 4 feet tall. Clearly this one here is an overachiever. So this is some of Bill Yoder's varieties, little dwarf red Corvette, and it's got I'm so excited. It's got lots of tomatoes, lots of flowers. It's the overachiever of his varieties this year for me. But then, you know, some more dwarves. There's fruit on everything. Like I did do a tomato tour where I went through every variety. So I'm not going to go through every variety here. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to put it down in the comments. But I did show every single variety, every like 300 of them that I have in my yard. But here's another fuzzy one, another variegated one. But like, again, there's a T-post and I stuck a tomato there. More. This is some peppers I planted in there. I need to do a pepper tour. I haven't done that yet. I'm a slacker. And then I also, in some places, I was just trying to find places to put my winter sowing stuff. So there's a couple of things there. I did better this year with tagging things as far as like tomatoes and peppers go. But I don't know what happened right here. I don't have a tag on the tomato and I don't have a tag for whatever this stuff is. So it's going to be a fun surprise. And then I have some buckets, food grade buckets that I just planted some tomatoes and peppers in. And then here's more grow pots with lots and lots and lots of peppers. So like I said, I don't like to water. So I was trying to make it easier for myself this year. Here comes the sun. I was going to try to record this without the sun blocking and glaring and all that, but it's coming in and out. But hopefully it's not too bad. So I'm trying to make it easier for myself on watering because clearly getting a hose around here, a lot of people ask, how do you water? I don't. Sadly, I rarely water unless we have like a really big heat wave and I can see my plants are struggling, which clearly they are not. And it's been hot for the past few days with minimal rain. But this year has been very nice with the like rain that we've gotten. But for like my pots and stuff, of course they're going to dry out easier because they're fabric grow pots. But I thought what I could do this year to kind of help myself, just thinking about, I gotta bring the hose down, water the pots. I'm like, I just don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. So trying to figure out a way that I would do it. Here's what I came up with. So I have one of these up in my greenhouse because same thing. It just helps me to like, if this is there filled with water, I will water my plants. So I got a bucket and what I'll do is I'm keeping this filled. Clearly it's not getting, all the water from the rain. So I do have the hose right here and I just have this filled and I'll fill the bucket up and I have some fish emulsion, fertilizer, and then I also have some liquid NPK, like a light dose of that, and I will put water in the bucket. If I think they need fertilized, I'll put the fertilizer in the bucket, and then I just bring the bucket and I water all the pots. And usually it takes me a handful of buckets to water these, but they're getting watered. Last year, my grow pots didn't do as well as they are this year. They are looking fabulous, so I'm super pumped. Okay, so we're just gonna go along the back here. Tomatoes. Like I said, I did do a tour of all the different varieties, but like, where's the one I saw yesterday where it was just tomatoes all over it? Here. This entire cluster has a tomato on it. Like I looked at all of the little flowers. Yep, tomato. Like I'm like, everything is doing so well. I did put in some really hard days of work, so I'm glad that my garden is treating me good this year. I mean, at the start, I thought I really messed up. A lot of times I'll tell you this stuff in vlogs. I keep you updated on the good, the bad, the ugly. But I said this in one of the vlogs. I was trying to plant in the rain, and in my holes of my tomato plants, I put a little bit of, fertilizer. And so I had fertilizer all over my hands, and clearly it got on some of the plants because the leaves were burnt. Like my tiny little seedlings, well, they weren't tiny, they were decent sized seedlings, but some of them just looked, within a couple of days, like somebody set them on fire. They pulled through. Luckily, I think I only lost like 2 or 3 of them, but I was scared because I had planted like over 150 tomatoes that day. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? There was several of them that were, struggling. But that's another reason why I adore tomatoes. They are survivors. You can beat them up. You can prune them back to a stick, and they will try to come back for you. I love tomato plants. Okay, continuing with the tour. All right, so past this row of tomatoes, I've got a couple of things planted. A sunflower. I have a real big issue with squirrels, chipmunks, birds. I'm not sure. They either decapitate my sunflowers, or they'll rip them out of the dirt, or they chop off the tops and eat the tops. So what I've been doing this year is I winter sowed some of them and waited till they were like fairly large and didn't put them in. So I did some of them that way, and then I also have these baskets from the Dollar Tree that I've been putting over. That snake is not real. That was to deter chipmunks and stuff. I am undecided as to whether I recommend them or not. I think they might work for some things. I've been moving them around and all that, changing positions, but I don't know if I'm going to recommend those just yet. But beside that, I have some sort of volunteer squash. I did not plant this, and this is a Topolino sunflower, so I'm excited for that. I want to try to save seeds for some of my sunflowers this year. I'm very bad at that. But yeah, this was a volunteer squash. It popped up in the corner there. I can't remember what I planted last year, and I thought, well, heck, I'm going to let this thing go. But clearly it's a trailing one. So we'll see what it does. Sometimes I'll let things just trail along here. I am trying to mulch. I actually mulched all around this yesterday. This is what 25 wheelbarrow loads of mulch gets you. So a little bit into the path there, but I need to go clear down there. It's been 2 or 3 years since I mulched this. So it's still doing well with keeping weeds. There's not a whole lot of weeds, and I pluck them when they pop up. But this helps build healthy soil, this wood chip mulch. And I just get this from a tree company. I pay $50. They bring a gigantic load to me. And so that's what I put down cardboard because worms love cardboard. So I'm bringing in lots of worms, and this breaks down into dirt too. So it suppresses the weeds and then also helps building me healthy soil. So this bed here used to be my potato bed. As you can see, I'm not sure if I should leave this or not. If anybody knows, let me know. This is a volunteer potato plant. Next to my squash pumpkin bed. So I've got lots of different things here. I've got autumn frost squash. I've got musc de Provence. Back here I've got pink porcelain doll pumpkin, Seminole pumpkin. I did plant some stuff here that I just didn't germinate. So these are all stuff that I saved seeds for, as well as started from seed. So I did stuff some seeds in here, but clearly I noticed after they popped up, they got eaten by something. So I'm thinking starting from seed and then planting the seedlings is a better way to go for me, because chipmunks are something like my seeds. And then I've got a volunteer something there. It's either a pumpkin or a squash. I'm not sure. I'm thinking pumpkin. And then a volunteer something there. So I just mulched around it and thought, let's see how this goes. I planted something here last year. I can't remember what it is, but it is flowering this year, and I'm so excited for it. It looks very pretty. I actually thought it was a weed at the beginning of, I think it was like in March or April, and I was, weeding stuff, and I ripped it out. And then I thought, oh, no, this is that thing I planted. And so I shoved it back in the dirt, and it survived. Yay! Back behind there is where I've got my leaf mulch bins. This is wormwood. I've harvested some of that and dried some of that. If anybody has any suggestions on what you do with your wormwood, I haven't researched it, so I need to. Then I've got 2 different kinds of rhubarb here. One of these, and they went to seed this year. Now, someone told me, I had a patient tell me that when you start to see them go to seed, to just rip the tops off. And then they'll quit that. So next year, that's what I'll do. Okay, so this is going to be a really long video, guys. I am planning on moving this fencing at a different angle because all of my pumpkins from last year climbed up the hill because the sun comes up over there and goes that way. And so as the sun was coming up, they were all trying to climb up this hill and got all mangled and tangled in this fence. So I'm going to be moving this fence. And this deer fencing seems to be working pretty well. Don't want to jinx myself, but. And then this pack of mess right here are volunteer, what I think is, because this is where I had them planted last year. Oops, I see a little disease here on one of the layers. Get it off. Get it off. These are volunteer, they're, what are they? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of them now. Tiny little birdhouse gourds. And they all volunteered. So I thought, well, there's like a bunch of them. Like, I don't know how many plants are down in there. Like 15 or so. And I just let them all go. And I thought, well, we'll see what happens. But they're doing great without being watered by me at all. And then in between the beds is where I put a lot of winter sowing things. So I did plant an African drum gourd. Something ate it. This here, oh, what is this? Some of this stuff, like, I didn't label because I labeled one clump of it and then I just put clumps of it everywhere else. So this looks like a hollyhock of some sort. I don't have luck with marigolds. Something eats them, I don't know. But there was a Durango red marigold, it's gone. I also planted another gourd here and something ate it. Here's my baskets for the ones that I did get covered in time. They did okay. And then here is my special hole. There is something that lives down in there. I have covered this hole, I don't know how many times, and it just keeps reappearing. So the squash beside it are doing okay, so I've just quit fighting. Because I figured if I stop messing with the hole, whatever lives there, we'll just leave my squash alone. So here's more stuff there. More flowers there. Oh, these are basils. This one is red ruffles, and this is green ruffles, I believe. Or, I can't remember. Green joy? That's green joy, I think. So this is a boulet gourd. A couple of boulet gourds. Possibly a Martin house gourd. So I have boulet gourd and then I have Martin birdhouse gourd labeled there. So I'm not quite sure which of these they are. Oh my gosh, it just got super dark. Is it gonna rain? Freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, looks like nighttime. But we shall see. I've been trying to grow Martin house birdhouse gourds. So Martin house gourds look like a birdhouse gourd. You can use them like a birdhouse gourd as well, but they have a rounder neck, not as thin. And I have this idea that I wanted to do is I want to make these chickens, like you paint them and make them look like chickens and decorate my yard with them. So fingers crossed that, because I only had one seed. So these could all possibly be boulet. But I'm hoping that there's one Martin house gourd mixed in there. This here is one of the first things of my winter sowing that I planted. Clearly it is taking off. What is it? And then I've got some poor basils back here that are just, what is this? Yeah, this is red ruffles basil that is just getting crowded out by, is this wild bergamot? That's what I have right here, but I don't know if that's what this is. And I've got, this is Happy Lights hollyhocks back here. I've got some Allen's Pride echinacea right here. What else we got here? We've got, oh yeah, here's the basil. This is Helingi rotblatria. And then we've got what looks like some zinnias. I'm not really sure. Must have been one of the ones that didn't get labeled, but they're looking really good there. Here we have, I'm not sure what these are either, but they're getting ready to flower for me. I'm excited. So this is either a long-handled dipper gourd or a Tennessee dancing gourd. So maybe I have a couple of those there. This is just a basket that I need to take back in. I've got a kale here. I've been trying to keep it harvested so it doesn't overshadow stuff. Let me take this leaf too up to my chickens. And then there's some more, I believe is that a zinnia? I'm not sure. I'm still working on figuring out what my flowers are. Yep, it's raining. These are so I started these from seed. A lot of my squash, I start from seed and then I plant in the ground. It's how I can get things going, and I have to use these baskets again over my squash. Otherwise, like squash, gourds. Next year, beans. I'll tell you why about the beans. I'm going to cover those. So I'm getting a bunch of these because they've been super helpful this year. But this is my Rampicante. So they're doing really well. I think I'm going to try the aluminum foil method this year. So I've heard that if you wrap the base of your plant in aluminum foil, that the squash bugs will leave it be. So I'm going to, after recording this video, editing it and uploading it, that's what I'm planning on doing, is coming down and trying to wrap the base of all my squash plants. But this one here, I will say, is very resilient. I've always been able to grow it, and it seems like the squash bugs will be the last to decimate this one. So, and you can use it like you would any other, like zucchini or squash. Oh, it's raining. I'm gonna keep going in the rain. So this squash, what is this one? Oh, well, this right here is Arizona Agastache. And this squash, I don't know. It'll be a surprise. But I've got some beans that are trying to wrap itself around. Nope. Sometimes you gotta tell your plants, this is where you want to go. Stop trying to strangle my other plants. So we're gonna do this row, and then we'll come back to this row, and then I'll just tell you all about those rows. I'm just gonna be like tomato plants. But in here I've got, this is the Good Mother Stallard pole bean, and I'm planning on letting a lot of these. I'm gonna harvest maybe once or twice, and then I plan on, look how they're all the way up there. Then I plan on saving seeds. Anytime I see disease, I just try to get rid of the leaves of that plant. So in the hopes that it's not going to spread. But yeah, so Good Mother Stallard pole bean is a win. They're doing great. Then I've got some, that's fake. So I bought some little ones, and then I bought some bigger ones just to see what worked. This here is red bachelor button. Very pretty. And again, I've got stuff interspersed behind things here. Like I've got Zanzibar. I don't know if you can see that. I've got some Zanzibar basil, right? Get out of the way. Tomato plant right there. But now it's kind of getting, it's probably going to be in too much shade. It's not going to do anything, but we'll see. Ooh, I got a squash. Ah, look at that. So this one here has got lots of flowers on it, and I've got one that just wanted to bramble. I keep trying to get it to go up. Doesn't want to, so I'm just like, okay. Ooh, there's another one. Look. Oh, so cool. Okay. This is Small Wonder spaghetti squash. I've grown this on a trellis before, and it does pretty good. Sometimes you gotta support your squash, but they're pretty small. They're only like handheld squash. And then this one right here is Thelma Sanders sweet potato squash. So this is a snapdragon. Forget which one this one is. Yeah, but I love snapdragons. I want to collect them all. And look at the pretty flowers on this bean plant. So this one is Ayote Morado pole bean. Oh, okay, here we go. What's this? This tag. Oh, I've got an Alaskan nasturtium back there. Which, look at the variegation on that. Oh, pretty. I'm hoping it doesn't get too crowded out by these beans, but I don't know. And then on this side, so I planted 2 different beans on either side. Or maybe this is the same. Yeah, this one's the same. But I've got some snapdragons planted back there too that are just trying to reach for the sun. They're coming out this way. In the corner here, I have another nasturtium. I have orange cream nasturtium. And another squash plant in the corner here at that. I don't know where the tag is. Is this it? Because I had 2. I planted one here, one here. Let's see, is this it? Pumpkin baby boo. All right, another sunflower. And I had one in this corner and one in this corner, and that one got eaten, sadly. I have a giant ground cherry that's doing great. That's the name of it, giant ground cherry. And then another sunflower. And I have lots more sunflowers than I did last year. And this is my beloved Prairie Sun Rudbeckia. Oh my gosh, I took pictures with it last year. It was glorious, and I hope it's glorious again this year. I also planted, something is back there. This is Black Magic Cosmos. So some of this stuff possibly won't do so great because everything else around it is gigantic, but that's okay. I have got some Mexican sour gherkin cucumbers here. So they're little tiny cucumbers. These things are so fussy. They take forever to get going, clearly. So I like oversowed these in little pots and then just put the clumps of pots in here, hoping that, see, look, these little things, where is it at? These little cucumber beetles are obnoxious. So I have been coming down with some DE and sprinkling DE, trying to keep these cucumber beetles from decimating them. But I had a patch here, and clearly you can see they're gone. But I'm hoping they get going enough here soon that I'll get something. Behind there, I've got some things planted, some flowers. Then I also planted some miniature white bush cucumber plants. So I've got a couple of those. I'm not great with cucumbers. I need to water my cucumbers. That's another thing that I thought, if I have this watering container, I'll be more apt to just take a bucket and water my cucumbers real quick. Another batch of snapdragons here. I believe this is some sort of zinnia. Oh, got some volunteer tomato plants there. Whoops, I did not notice those. So I don't know what those are. I've got some red noodle pole beans right here. And then we're back to the cup plant. Oh, here's another sunflower back here. So I was just stuffing things everywhere. There's another something back there too. All right, coming back around. Oh, I also did plant some of my winter sowing stuff. I had hay bales here for when like I had potatoes, and I was covering this bed with straw bales. So you can see they've broken down, and I just had some winter sowing stuff that I planted in this. I have some marshmallow. So I just do clumps. Whatever pops up in the winter sowing containers, I put the clumps in here. This was, here it is, the toothache plant, which is getting eaten up by something. So I'll probably put some DE around that. This is El Campe horsehue. And then I got a couple I got a new variety of rhubarb, and I stuck it in this corner. So I forgot to show you guys. That. So now we're gonna go down this row here. I've got a volunteer white currant. Every year, a white currant pops up here, and then it just rambles all over the place. And I just let it go. I like white currant. It's really tasty. And I've got some flowers here. Another type of cucumber. Which one is this one? I know I had the tag somewhere. Oh, it's silver slicer. I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh, I need this to happen for me. So I'm going to pause this and water these right now so I don't forget. But in front of that, I planted something, and it got pretty much eaten all up. So it was all along here, and I've only got one that is really trying hard to make it. I've got some Rembrandt snapdragons here. I've got a Carolina lupine here. And then this is what's happening. So I had this snake here, moved it around. My beans, as you can see, still got chewed up by something. That's just a weed. But there's a few here that are trying to make it. But next year, they're getting the baskets. This was Sunset Runner pole bean. So I'm going to resow seeds for something and put there. Maybe some more of those if I have them. I'm not sure. I had a couple of squash, green tint scallop squash that I just placed here in the corner. And then these are my, oh gosh, which variety of snapdragon is this? I forget. Oriental lanterns, I believe, yeah. And then I planted a clump of something right here. I don't remember. I've got my lavender. Oh, it's lovely. I don't want to go into that bed, but that bed is just tomatoes. Row of beautiful tomatoes. Coming back around here, this corner and this corner, I'm always planting stuff and it's always getting eaten up. So I tried to plant some more prairie sun rudbeckia. Obviously it didn't take, dang it. Then up there, I think that's more snapdragons. But we'll get to that bed. But these corners of the beds, frustrating. So here are some dragon Shisho cross, which is a F1 cucumber. I had a few more planted, but only these two have survived. Again, I'm going to give them some DE. This is miniature white cucumber, this one right here. So I planted, actually these might both be the miniature white, and the dragon Shisho got eaten up. Dang it. Hopefully I'll have some survivors. This too got munched down to little sticks, but these have come back, so I'm super pumped about that. Not sure what they are though. I can't find the tag. Gotta get better. Planted something here, again, got munched. In the front here, I planted mixed color foxglove, and then on the trellis I have Christmas lima bean, which I grew this last year, and I just want more seeds of it. I'm not a huge fan of lima bean, but they're so pretty, the beans themselves, and I want to make my own like 15 bean soup or something like that, so I'm really going to be saving lots of beans. Again, I need to use the baskets for my beans, so clearly I'm going to get nothing from these. Just a bunch of sticks. So I did like cotton balls. You'll see cotton balls. I did peppermint oil. I did cinnamon. I tried all the things, but I think the basket is what will work for my beans. Planted some things in the corners here, and in the front I have poppy hens and chicks, and as you can see, it looks like we've got some little buds, so that's so cool. And then we've got the wood to do the last bed, so Ben's going to build another bed right there, and then a walkway like that one right there, and so then I'll have 2 more beds, because this will be a bed, that'll be a bed, and then this will be a bed. And I've got to clean out all of this shale, because this hill is just shale. I've actually had to bring garden soil and mushroom compost and all that stuff bucket by bucket to fill these beds over the past 5 years. It's a lot of work. I don't shy away from hard work. I've always loved hard work, so it is what it is. It has helped me physically stay strong and healthy, and also mentally, just having something to do. My daughter's 21 years old, and I started gardening when she started to be more independent, driving and just doing things on her own more. And so it's kept me from, losing that mommy connection with my daughter where I had to do everything for her. So gardening has kept me busy, and I thought that when she, graduated from high school and all that stuff, and I would be very, sad, depressed, but gardening has taken up that time and kept me from having that issue. So there will be beds here next year that I can plant in. I'm super excited, but this is just a work in progress. It's going to take some time to fill these beds. It's going to take time to clean out the shale for real. This stuff is heavy, and I just take the wheelbarrows of it and put it over back behind my leaf mold beds or leaf mold bins. So continuing on, we're going to climb up into this bed. So behind this bed I just filled it with mulch, and it's a walkway, but we've got beans. This was like my bean bed. Some beans did good. This is Jacob's cattle bush. That's a weed. So these did get munched down. I have a big issue with slugs, slugs. So only the strongest survive, but I am planning on putting baskets. I feel like that has helped. This one row right here was Chiba green soybeans, and I clearly did not get anything. Nothing germinated, or that's what this is. I'm not really sure. It could be a weed. But I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. Beside that, these are doing really well. This is greasy cut short bean, Hendrick greasy cut short bean. I am planning on putting some more beans. There's like an empty space here. I just haven't got around to it. This, I got a few that are just getting going. Crazy germination. Took forever because I planted these forever ago. And this is First Lady Northern Southern Pea, cow pea. So someone gifted me these seeds. So I was really excited about them. So I'm glad that they're finally popping up. Then beside that, we have Royal Burgundy bush bean, which is doing okay. And so you'll see Ziploc baggies with a little rock on them. I'm going to pick those up, but I pre-soak my beans for about 24 hours, and then I plant them, so they'll pop up quicker. And then all along the back here, you'll see plants. Those are volunteer snapdragons, and of course, I'm letting them go. I love snapdragons. Next to the Royal Burgundy, I have some black garbanzo bush bean. That's what they look like. They're very interesting looking. And they're doing okay. Some of them got munched. As you can see, there's a stick. This one got munched, but I'm hopeful I'll get something. This I've only got a few of. This is Painted Pony bush bean. Again, they got munched on. You can see something's digging. They might even dug up the bean and ate them. I don't know. Over here, I have my okra that I need. Obviously, slugs, I think, are getting to these. Which is, yikes. I think I can bring them back. I just need to be more diligent with the DE. I had them covered with baskets. But still, something is getting underneath there and munching on them. This is a snapdragon. More snapdragons, but... it's motherland okra. I only had one that survived last year, so I planted like 15 here. This is just a pain. Sometimes it's just a pain. Okay, so that is this row. And now we're headed up. I already showed you this row with the lavender, and there's something back here. I don't know if this is a weed. I feel like I planted something there, but I don't know. It could be a weed. But I told you, this is just a row of tomatoes. This is another one of those perennial flowers. I have one here, and then I have one in that corner, but I actually like ripped it out thinking it was a weed because it was smaller than this one. I was like, what is this weed growing? And then I remembered I planted this over there, but I don't think it's going to do anything at this point. But this is full of tomato plants. So it's 2 rows. I've got 2 cattle panels. And I did try to plant some, I don't see any of it in here, but up here I can show you. So you can see some of the leaves that are diseased leaves. There haven't been many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up this row, and then we'll come down this row, and then we'll finish by going up that row, okay? So, lots of tomato plants. There's probably like 32 in each of these beds. Because again, 2 rows of tomatoes, one in the front, one in the back. But I did try to plant, there's some Zanzibar basil. These plants are doing exceptional. I think they're about 4 or 5 weeks planted. I have to go back and look, but the basil is probably not going to get going very well because they're already crowded out. But like, look, I've got tomatoes and tons of flowers everywhere. Very exciting. Look at all the tomatoes. Okay. This was my strawberry bed. This was a bed that Ben redid for me this year, the walkway and the bed, and I still need to fill it. I'm doing the hugelkultur where I put a bunch of wood and then wood bark, and then I'll put soil on top. And these strawberry plants and asparagus plants will be fine. They'll come back. The runners will spread. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's not a priority because I have strawberries everywhere. If I keep going up the hill, this is a bed that got redone last year. It's just a row of tomatoes and then some flowers and such that I planted here. Some cilantro that's already gone to seed, a volunteer tomato plant I'm leaving, and then this is parsley that I planted last year and has come back as a volunteer in there and all over here, which I think is wonderful. I'm just letting it go. Here I have some, this here is not the Rudbeckia. The Rudbeckia died. So I replanted strawberry blonde calendula right here. And then this is I had some brassicas planted. And I like to save seeds from a brassica, so this is just one that I let go to seed. This is one plant. And I'm trying to keep it contained so it doesn't block my tomato plants. Clearly I'm doing a poor job of it. I need to come down and do it again, but this is some basils. I believe this is Zanzibar again. And then another one that is super pretty, a red Reuben possibly. And then I had a bunch of sunflowers that I started from seed in little grow pots, and I planted them here when they were big enough. I was keeping them in the greenhouse till I thought they were big enough, and whew, that is the trick. Don't put them in the ground when they're little. If you have an issue with chipmunks and stuff eating them, wait till they're of decent size, and some more. And then my peach tree. Oh my God, this is a mess. It needs to be trimmed. Something fierce. Look at the poor branches. It's covered in fruit, but I think that they're just going to break off if I don't do something. And then around the back, this all needs to be weeded and fresh sand put on it. This is like my hammock pergola relaxation area that's a mess right now. But I'm working on it. It's one area that I haven't got to yet. But behind it are all different kinds of raspberry plants, as well as, I didn't show you this, this hill right here is a bunch of different raspberry plants too. But I grew a bunch of different kinds of kale. Look at this one. This one is, which one is this? It's so pretty. This is scarlet kale. And then, what was this here that I planted? Now there's sunflower survivor, yay. And then there's something in the corner here. Basil, Ghani, Achomesia basil, which still hasn't gotten going yet. I've got a blueberry plant with some blueberries and an onion. Oh, this is a mess here. Got some, let's finish this bed. Again, this was a big pile of different brassicas, and I just like tried to tie them up. And I want to save seeds for whatever is right here at some point. It is a pile of mess. And then I've got Brussels sprouts, lots of different kinds of Brussels sprouts here, and that looks like a flower that I planted. Again, cilantro that's gone to seed, a different, let's see what kind of, I know I have the tag for this. This is a different kind of spinach. This is Komatsuno spinach that I'm going to save seeds for. You can see all the little pods. So once they get real dry looking, I will take these and put these in a sheet and just shake them, and the pods will open up, and then I'll have a sheet full of seeds. Let's go back around. I did try to plant some sugar snap peas around this. Something ate them. Because I saw them come up and then they disappeared. I have a nasturtium here. I'm not sure which kind. I have Clayton Miner's lettuce. I think that's what this is. I believe this is some sort of cilantro. I don't know where the tag is for it, but it's like a different kind of cilantro. Slow bolt, I believe it is. This plant right here is Orange Diablo Cosmos. That's what's down there, Cosmos. This is beautiful, but I don't know where the tag to it is. I also planted some green twister coneflower. I don't know where it's at. I cannot grow green twister cone. Oh, is that it? I think that's it. It looks like echinacea leaves. Poor thing. Still alive. Here I've got a volunteer tomato plant and another one, and I thought, well, let's just leave them and see what happens. And then here I've got some more of my silver slicer cucumbers that I watered. And then I've got some peas. On this side, these are mixed colored sweet peas, which are very beautiful. I've got some basils in here. This is globe basil, and then I'm not sure what this kind of basil is, but it isn't that gorgeous. I think that's the Marani. These are weeds. And then this stuff here, what is this stuff? There was a tag, boy, but it's just gone to town. I don't know where. Big mess here. Here's my sugar snap peas that have been doing really well. Let's see, can I find it? What is this stuff? Oh, here it is. Vit Mach. So my Vit Mach has gone to seed. Oh, there's a pea. Oh, where did it go? Okay, that's all I get to snack on. Vit Mach. So I'll try to save seeds for these and grow them in the fall, which will probably be a better time for it. So that's that bed. And I could still plant something here. I might do some squash once I've started them from seed. Some zucchini, probably. Okay. This is our fire pit area. And it's getting redone. I'm not sure if it's going to get done summer or the fall, but parts of it have gotten redone, but it is falling apart. We use recycled wood. And so I haven't really done anything. Just let volunteer stuff come up around it, because I do usually plant it around it. But since we're going to be tearing it apart and messing with it, I just haven't. All right, going back down into the hill. This is a new bed this year that my husband built me. I winter sowed some stuff that should have been planted out earlier than it did. This was cabbages. Over there is some carrots. And I just ripped off the leaves and gave the leaves to the chickens because I knew they were just going to go to seed. So, and then the carrots are still doing their thing over there. And then it's a row of tomatoes on this trellis. And behind that, I also planted some, this is dill. that keeps trying to go to seed. So I just keep doing that to it and pulling off the more carrots, different kinds of carrots. And then on the other end, let's see if I can walk over there. I need like a little walkway built here. I haven't had Ben do that yet. I think I'm going to. So it's easier for me to get behind this bed. So it is a bit steep. But yeah, there's lots of carrots. Basils are doing really good on this side. Again, look how gorgeous these basils are. What is this one? This is, here it is. Yeah. NG basil. I don't know if I hyphenated that or if that's what it's actually called. Then I did get some marigolds to survive here, but now they're all hidden away. Get that leaf off there. This was this right here was Victorian gold primrose, lace black primrose right here. And I had one on the other end. I don't know if it's going to do anything. It doesn't look like it's doing great. And I thought it was a weed, and I pulled it out. It was over there. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, no. But it is what it is. All right. Then we'll just come down and real quickly show you these. This is going to be the video that never ends. I've got some, I think this is parsley. Yeah, this is parsley. Yeah. Yummy, yummy parsley. Keeps coming back every year. And then a bunch of tomatoes. Look at those. A bunch of tomatoes. And then I planted, this is a volunteer tomato plant. I let it go. These are celery. I think it's white celery. Again, I've lost the tag. Another celery. I planted it all along here, but clearly it just didn't do very well. I don't know if it was the wood chips or what. Another sunflower survivor. Yay. Coming back down. Again, row of tomatoes. And then this is more celery. This is celery that has been here for 2 years now. This is its second year. And there's snapdragon, volunteer snapdragons popping up behind these beds, which I just let go because I love snapdragons. And the last row, because there's the bean patch. So the last row here, again, tomatoes, snapdragons. These are Tequila Sunrise snapdragons, which is new to me this year, so I'm super excited to see what they look like. This looks like some sort of calendula. Yeah, strawberry blonde calendula. And this is, what is this one? I don't know, some sort of flower, because there it is. Almost looks like a carrot. I don't know. We'll see. Then we've got, this is, what is this? This is basil. Lemon drop basil. So those three are lemon drop basils. And then I think this is more Tequila Sunrise snapdragons. I planted them in each corner. But can you even with all of these blooms? Yes. Super excited. Look, I've even got a tomato. This plant I'm super excited about. This is leprechaun gosha. Oh my gosh, these were hidden from me. Oh my. Look. I did not even see those till just now. I'm super pumped. Okay. Calm down, Jen. So this is my like leprechaun area here. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, this is my squash bed. And I have been battling this, I think it's deer corn. I just keep coming and ripping off the foliage, and I'm hoping at some point it will get tired of trying and the root system will just die. So, but this is probably the 5th time I have done this, and clearly it is causing this plant to struggle. So I have come and fertilized it really well. Hopefully it makes it, but this stuff is really awful. All different kinds of squash in this bed, and you can see there's flowers already everywhere. I did plant some marigolds that are surviving. I put some cedar wood chips because I heard that deters squash bugs. I put some wood ash around them. I heard that deter squash bugs, so I'm just trying whatever. This is pineapple squash. See where the tags are. This is sunrise kabochu. So they're usually like diagonal, 2 of them. These I needed fertilized because you can see they're kind of struggling. They're a little yellower and a little smaller. This is jewel box squash, both of those. This one is sweet dumpling squash. So sweet dumpling. Here's how you can tell if you've got good soil. If you see these little mushrooms. I love seeing them, but look at all the flowers. Don't know what the tags clearly are buried or hidden somewhere for these, but I'll keep you updated on what these squash are. But lots of squash, like when they look like this, I fertilize them heavily because I'm not sure why. Some of them are yellow and others are doing well. This one here is a crookneck yellow. And then this one over here, I just saw this one. This is Cocozel. So that's my squash bed. And then there's some random garlic. This is my elephant garlic. And I wanted it to go to seed because I want to save seeds for it and see if I can start some elephant garlic. Not only from the pods when they get big enough, but also see if I can start it from seed. And then this is a different kind of garlic that I just probably needs harvested, but haven't done it yet. Okay. All right, going up to the bed above this is a very exciting bed. I'm super pumped about it. So here I planted last year, which I didn't realize hollyhocks don't, some of them, I know that they do because I've had some bloom the first year, but these clearly did not bloom the first year. But this year they have. This one already opened, but you can see my black hollyhocks. Oh, so excited for them. And I'm going to save the heck out of all these seeds. But they've got rust on them. I need to figure out how to prevent this. Anybody knows how, let me know. But yeah, they came back this year. So this here is my dwarf bed. I want to grow all the dwarfs. I did a video on the dwarf tomato project tomatoes. All those tomatoes, there's like 150 of them. And I want to grow them all. So this bed is just full of, I think there's, I don't even know how many's in here. I should count them and tell you. But there's dwarfs everywhere else on my property, mostly in hay bales or in grow pots. But this is like the special dwarf bed. And for whatever reason, like the week after planting them, I think I showed it in a vlog, they really looked like they were struggling, so that I gave them a good dose of liquid fertilizer, and clearly they loved it. They're doing great. I've also got some lettuce leaf basil right here in the corner. I had planted a sunflower, which didn't make it. But yeah, look at all this. Oh, yes. And this one here, odd. Its leaves are curling. It's the only one. Is it because it's stressed because it's putting on a massive amount of fruit? Maybe. But I mean, the leaves look healthy. I think that this is what they do when they feel stressed, and clearly that seems like that's stressful. But yeah, look how wonderful they are. Oh, I'm just so pleased. And this variety back here, this is healthy. This is just a chartreuse sleeved variety. This one is what is this one? Orion's belt. So that's how it's supposed to look. But look at all the beautiful flowers on everything. I'm just very, very pleased with how these are doing. Look at these big old tomatoes on there. Oh, fantastic. And this is what was this? I can't remember. This is something I wanted to save seeds for, so I've just kind of been pushing it out of the way so it doesn't block my tomato plants, and when it dries up I'll save the seeds for it. What was this? Can't remember now. Ugh, but I know I really, really wanted to save seeds for it. The tag's probably somewhere around there, but And then I have a spot right here that I planted some more than this. Transciutto kale. There's the tag. 1,000 head kale, not transciutto. 1,000 head kale. So I had planted a bunch of it right here, and only one survived. So it's going to get huge, but I'm going to end up planting something else right here to fill this space, because something came and munched them down. Ugh. You win some, you lose some. But isn't that just a thing of beauty? Yes, I'm so pleased. All right, couple more beds, and then I think that's gonna be it. I think I'm gonna have to do, because I have more stuff planted in the front and all around the back of my yard, but I think that's gonna have to be a separate video. So this is a bed that is needing a little bit of repair, but it's a strawberry bed. I don't know if I'm going to keep it a strawberry bed, because I have the one over there, and then I started putting some strawberries in green stalks, which I love. So I don't know. I might change this up to be something different next year. We'll see. There's also asparagus here, which could be a problem, but I can move the asparagus when they go dormant if I need to. This is their second year planting, so I didn't really harvest a whole bunch from them, just a few stalks. Okay, back to this bed. Some gorgeous sunflowers that I'm super excited about. I need to do, I told you, a pepper tour, because there's all different kinds of peppers. Probably 100 different kinds of peppers in my on my property. I've got some basil. I think this is lettuce leaf basil again. It looks like it, or it's green ruffles. I'm not quite sure. But another thing of kale that went to seed. Here, I'm going to have tons of kale. They're actually opening, so I might need to cut this down. I'm going to have volunteer kale everywhere. Peppers, as you can see, there's already peppers on some of these. Super excited. Another bunch of kale that went to seed, and I'm trying to save seeds for it. And this is a walkway my husband just redid for me. God love him. I have some cosmos back there. Or is that? Yeah, cosmos. More peppers, peppers, peppers. Lots. These are, I'm pretty sure, sweet peppers. Tons of sweet peppers. And another cosmo here. So I think that's where I'm going to end this part of the video. I am going to go ahead and record my yard, because I got stuff in the front yard that I want to show you. I've got stuff all around my chicken coop planted that I want to show you. I've got my greenhouse, the inside of it, and then all the pots around it that I want to show you. I've got stuff on my deck, but this video is probably an hour long. Gosh, I hope it's only an hour. It's going to take me forever to edit it, but I want to show you all the things. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please say something in the comments. Let me know what you're excited to see. I do plan on doing another tomato tour next weekend or the following, because there'll be tomatoes on everything, and I'm excited to show you what they look like. Even though they're not going to be fully ripe, they are different shapes, different sizes. Very exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy your day.